everyone, welcome to another episode of Tea Time with Jennifer. Today I am drinking English breakfast tea with milk and 1 sugar, and I'm really excited for this chat because today we are going to be discussing the BBC video that went viral of the interviewer Robert Kelly and what happens when you work at home, what happens when live TV goes bad, and some of my thoughts on this subject, as well as a personal anecdote that I have for all of you. I hope you are settled down with your own cup of tea and we can chat and laugh together. Basically, last week there was a video that went viral. So, you know, when you watch the evening news, oftentimes the broadcasters will bring on experts and, you know, discuss serious topics, normally politics or things like that. And so Robert Kelly is a professor and he lives in Korea, and he was brought on to BBC to discuss South Korea. So he is being filmed in what looks like his office or a spare room in his home, and he's, you know, having this very serious discussion with the BBC presenter, and then suddenly the door behind him opens and his little daughter walks in and she just starts dancing. Okay. And you could see that look of panic, that flicker of panic in his eye, because obviously he's Skyping or something with the BBC, so he can see what's going on behind him. So he has a flicker of panic in his eye. And then my favorite part, the baby comes in. So the baby's in this walker. The baby can't even walk properly yet. And it's in this walker. And the little baby boy comes in and he just casually starts strolling into the room. So behind him, his children are there. And it's just so funny. And the BBC presenter said, you know, I think your children have just come into the room. And then his wife realizes that the children have gone into the room during the interview. So in a panic, she just skids into the room and takes the children and, you know, kind of gets them out of the room as fast as she can. It was just the perfect comedy of errors. I'm trying to figure out why this video has gone so viral, and I think it's because we can all relate. We can all relate. Every parent, even if you're not a parent, you just know how funny kids can be. They're so oblivious sometimes to what's going on in the world and or what's going on around them. And especially anybody who's ever worked from home can testify that it is so difficult because, you know, I work from home and I'm just constantly, like, even to shoot this video, to get this video in without a million interruptions, you know, I had to wait till the baby goes to sleep. The girls are watching a documentary on bears in the playroom. And finally everything's quiet so I can do this video. But anybody who's ever worked from home knows how hard it is to get work done when children are around, because just things happen like that. So basically I found this article on the Daily Mail and I woke up and I just watched the video and I couldn't stop laughing. I honestly think it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen on the internet. And I was just tearing up laughing so hard. And then The Telegraph did a very funny article called The Anatomy of a Masterpiece, 13 Reasons Why the Funniest Video of the Year is Pure Comedy Gold. And it sort of analyzes every single second of the 40-second clip. So yes, so I shared this on my Facebook page, and everybody pretty much thought it was funny. Some people thought it was horrible that the dad, you know, kind of blocked his daughter from coming up. I'm actually here to defend the father. I don't think that that was a cruel act at all. When you are doing live television, especially discussing a serious topic like this, it's so stressful. And when suddenly, he probably just panicked when he saw his daughter come in. And, you know, maybe the Poise thing to do would be to put his daughter on his lap and continue the interview and just kind of laugh it off. But you never know what children are going to do. She could have started hitting the keys and turned off the interview, or, I mean, a million things could happen. She could have had a tantrum. She could have started screaming. So it was just funny because I could just tell he blocked her, kind of like, just please make this whole thing go away. I totally understand why he blocked her. I don't think that I don't think we should judge him for that, because unless you're in that situation, you just don't know what you're going to do. He probably thought that was the last thing that was going to happen. Let's talk about this with relation to poise, you know, because I wrote the book Polish Your Poise with Madame Chic, and it's easy to practice being poised when everything is going right Nothing unexpected is happening. You know, it's very easy to be poised when you are on television because you are ready, you've prepared, you're in your space, and you know, you have good posture and everything goes hopefully the way you think. But when something goes unexpectedly wrong, that's where your poise can oftentimes go out the window. Now, I actually thought that Robert Kelly remained very poised throughout the whole thing. The only thing that was awkward is that he was in denial of what was happening. He wasn't accepting the present circumstances. You know, he probably should have looked at his daughter or, you know, put her on his lap or any of those things that we mentioned, or at least maybe even made a joke about it. But I think he was so horrified that it was happening, he was just in denial. And you know, again, I cannot judge because it's so stressful. Who knows what I would have done if that happened to me, or what you would have done if that happened to you. I think, however, that the more you practice poise in your everyday life, the easier it is to be poised in unexpected circumstances, when things happen that don't necessarily go your way. So I do advocate practicing poise behind closed doors, out in public, wherever you are, because you just never know. Things could go south quickly, and it's nice to be able to handle things with poise. Although I think he did a great job. Now, I'm sure that they're all feeling a little embarrassed about this, but I hope that they know that the entire world, everybody who's seen this viral video, they're sending them love. We feel your pain. It's happened to all of us in some way, where your children just do something that just completely, you know, either embarrasses you or whatever it is. It's just, family life is real. It's messy. And I hope that he and his wife and their children are able to laugh at this, because I think it was a really sweet, real family moment. And we are not laughing at you. We are laughing with you, basically. Yeah, many people thought that the funny moment was when the wife kind of came into the room panicked, but my favorite moment was definitely the baby just strolling in like a boss, just sitting in just sitting in that little walker. It's so funny. I'm sorry, it's just so funny. So now I want to tell you about my real life live experience where I had something go horribly wrong. So a few years ago, I went to New York and I did a TEDx talk on the 10-item wardrobe, and many of you have probably already seen it. If you haven't seen it, I have it linked below. So for me, doing a TEDx talk was a really big deal. As soon as I found out I was doing it, I was instantly nervous, instantly excited. It's a big deal to do a TEDx talk, and I was really grateful to be asked. So, you know, the stakes were high. I'd flown all the way to New York for this, and I had my publisher there in the audience and my agent, and it was just a very exciting experience for me. So I prepped and everything, and you know, I had my hair done, I was in my pretty dress from my 10-item wardrobe, and I'm up there, and I really worked on this talk for months beforehand, right? Before we did the TEDx talk, you know, there were about 13 of us, I think, that day. They told us, they said, okay, just so you know, you can have no notes on stage. You are not allowed to have notes. It has to all, you know, come from memory. Okay, and then they also said, just so you know, we are not going to be editing this video. So if you make any mistakes, if something happens, it's just going to be in the video. And I know, obviously I was in front of a live audience, but I know the real power in TEDx Talks, is that they go on the internet and people all over the world can watch them forever. And I was hoping that a lot of people would watch my TEDx talk. So as it turns out, as I'm shooting this video, almost 700,000 people have watched my TEDx talk. Now that's a lot of views. So I knew that that would be the case. I knew a lot of people would be watching it. So I was really nervous, and I just wanted it to go perfectly. So here's what happened. Right before I went on to give my talk, the sound guy came and he installed a microphone in my ear. So it clips around your ear and it kind of goes out like this. And the microphone is critical. Obviously you want good sound so that everybody can hear you, especially on the video. So he installed it in my ear and it felt a little bit wobbly, but you know, and I asked him and I panicked a little bit because I knew I was right about to go on stage. So he kind of fixed it a bit. I think I have freakishly small ears. I think that was the problem. So he fixed it, and then I went on stage to give my talk. Now, the whole time I was giving my talk, the earpiece felt like it was just about to fall right off my ear. And I knew if it fell off my ear, it would fall down into my dress and the microphone would get muddled and it would totally mess me up. So as soon as I started delivering my TEDx talk, I felt that thing about to fall off. So here I am, I have to apply poise under pressure, and I didn't really know how to deal with it. So basically, every few seconds as I'm giving the talk, I'm touching my ear. I'm touching my ear. You'll see it when you watch the talk to prevent it from falling. And it was so stressful. And I think halfway through, I finally just got it to lodge in there, because I knew I couldn't stop the talk to have him adjust it, because that would just be on my TEDx talk forever. So many people found that to be really annoying. So you would see comments down below beneath my TEDx video saying, I couldn't watch because she was annoying me so much when she was touching her ear. You know, so many comments said the same thing. And when I read those comments, I thought, oh my gosh, you have no idea how awful that was. It was so stressful to be giving a talk in front of a live audience, also knowing it's going to be going online forever and that a lot of people would be seeing it and having that happen. So that's why I didn't want to judge Robert Kelly, because I know how stressful it is, like with this TEDx talk, how stressful it is when something goes wrong on live TV or when you're doing something like that. I think before we judge people in those circumstances, we should put ourselves in their shoes. Whenever you're doing public speaking or a live interview or something, it is stressful and you just never know what's going to happen. So I think the poise thing to do in all of these situations is to just carry on and do your best with what you have, accept the present circumstances. You know, I probably could have said something like, my apologies, I'm having a problem with my earpiece. I could have said that. I was a bit in denial about it, just like Robert Kelly was. But, you know, looking back, it's always easier to fix the problem, isn't it? Anyway, this week on Tea Time, I would love to hear your thoughts. What did you think of this video? Have you seen it? I'll link it below if you haven't. I thought it was so endearing. Do you have any work-at-home horror stories where your children have interrupted a meeting or something like that? Let me know in the comment section below, and your comment could be featured on my blog as comment of the week. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time on the Daily Connoisseur. Bye!